where former Proud Boys national chairman Enrique Tarrio was sentenced to 22 years for a plot to attack the U.S. Capitol in a failed bid to stop the transfer of presidential power after Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. He is the final Proud Boys leader convicted of seditious conspiracy in the January 6, 2021 attack to receive his punishment. 3 fellow Proud Boys found guilty by a Washington jury of the rarely used sedition charge were sentenced last week to prison terms that ranged from 15 to 18 years. The Justice Department wanted the 39-year-old Tarrio to spend more than 3 decades in prison, describing him as the ringleader of the plot to use violence to shatter the cornerstone of American democracy and overturn the election victory by Joe Biden. Tarrio, who's been locked up since March 2022 when he was arrested, appeared in court in an orange jail uniform, as you can see here, quietly conferred with his lawyers as the hearing got underway. In Washington's federal courthouse, he's received the longest sentencing of the Proud Boy members, again at 22 years here. So wanted to show you some sketches of that in the courtroom as this news came down. We've also been hearing some reaction today as well. Let's play out some of that for you here next.
The main thing here is, I imagine all of you are asking and wondering what our position is, what transpired here today, and while we respect the judge's sentence, we respectfully disagree, but yet we respect it. There will be a day and a time where an appeal will come, and we expect the appeal to come soon. And whoever handles it will be handling the issues that transpire, and we will be filing the appeal in due course. Any questions?
Have you spoken to your client? And if so, how is he feeling?
We didn't have much time to speak afterwards, but of course it all caught us a little bit off guard where the sentence was imposed in the manner it was imposed, as far as the sentence of 22 years, being one that was run consecutive to another. But yet that's what the appellate process is for, right? So that's why we're here. That's what we anticipate is going to go forward from this point on.
You made a symbol on his way out of the car, kind of like the
right here.
What that gesture was meant to convey?
That's just basically for family. I mean, I'm here. Hey, love you guys. That's pretty much it.
When are you planning to present an appeal? Are you planning to present an appeal?
Well, there's definitely going to be an appeal of the case. Definitely, for the most part. Yeah. And there'll be both an appellate issues regarding the trial that was handled, as I mentioned before, all of you, and as far as the sentences that was imposed, and some of the enhancements that were imposed here today.
What were you expecting as an outcome?
I mean, look, as we said in court, right? So we asked for a recommendation that's not greater than 15 years. We saw the sentences that were handed down last week, and that's what we thought was appropriate based upon the guidelines and based upon the factors that are factored in within 3553 factors. Factoring a sentence which is sufficient, but not greater than necessary to appropriate sentence.
Your client offered a lot of remorse in his statement before, so the judge didn't seem to accept any of them, saying it's way too late to come in today.
Whatever the court took into consideration, I can't get into that. So that's what the court made considerations of. Our client's remorseful as far as what transpired on January 6th, and that's why he made those statements as he did.
Should he have said that earlier?
Excuse me?
Should he have said that earlier?
There's a lot of things that could happen earlier, right?
He said do it again. He was going to do it again.
Do you believe it was wrong for Enrique Tarrio to be sentenced to more time than Stuart Rhodes of the Oath Keepers?
Whatever the judge thought it was appropriate based upon the facts and circumstances. I'm not going to comment regarding how the judge determined the sentence. We just respectfully don't think it was appropriate.
Was your client satisfied with the sentence? Did you think it was fair or not?
I won't be answering that, but if anybody has any Spanish, my colleague's going to be answering Spanish. Con mi colega Jauregui.
Como dijo mi amigo Nair Hassan, no estamos de acuerdo con la sentencia, pero claro, respetamos la decisión del juez y la sentencia que él impuso.
All right, listening in here to attorneys for Tarrio speaking here after the sentencing, also going to pull up this tweet here again if you are just joining us from Fox's Chat program, saying Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio sentenced to 22 years in prison. That is the longest sentence so far of the January 6th defendants. And remember, they were pushing for much more than that. They wanted over 3 decades for him. Ultimately, though, here receiving 22 years. Now, the U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly, who was nominated to the bench by Trump, agreed with prosecutors that Tarrio's case could be punished as terrorism, increasing the recommended sentence under federal guidelines. But judges have a wide discretion when handing out punishments. And Kelly ultimately sentenced Tarrio's co-defendants to prison terms far shorter than those sought by prosecutors. Tarrio wasn't in Washington on January 6th. He was arrested 2 days earlier in a separate case. But prosecutors say he helped put in motion and encourage the violence that stunned the world and interrupted Congress's certification of Biden's victory in 2020. So the sentencing just coming down here, 22 years in prison. All right, let's step away for another quick commercial break nearing the 6:30 hour Eastern. We'll be right back with more top stories after this.